of the video about cell division and cell differentiation, we will cover the words that we are unable to go through in the last video. And this video will be mostly about cell structure and cell differentiation. And I'll mention how these processes connect to cell division. So firstly, on the slide, we have a cell, a picture of a cell. And so what happened is we have a nucleus, we have a nuclear membrane, and so the nucleus is separated from the rest of the cell, from the cytoplasm, from everything else, by the nuclear membrane. And the nucleus holds all the DNA, chromatin, chromosomes, whatever thing. And so afterwards, outside of the nuclear membrane, we have cytoplasm. And cytoplasm is this gelatinous fluid that fills up the cell. It provides structure. It helps to move things around. And we have all these cell structures, these organs of the cell, flowing around in the cytoplasm. And out of all these structures, we have ribosomes, which we touched upon in the last unit. And ribosomes are key for producing protein from mRNA that's transcribed from DNA in the nucleus. And we also have mitochondria, which we touched up during our cellular respiration unit. And mitochondria, or mitochondrion in its singular form, mitochondria are responsible for generating energy. Well, they don't generate energy, but they do most of the process of turning glucose into ATP. And so, in addition to this function, mitochondria plays a role in cell division because mitochondria carries maternal DNA. It is the source of pretty much undisturbed maternal DNA. And so in DNA testing, they would test for the XY chromosomes found in the nucleus. And they will test also sometimes for the mitochondria in case if the paternal DNA is lost or the nucleus DNA has the fragments don't make sense. So the mitochondria provides inheritance for new cells. And so when cell divides, old and new mitochondria are mixed up in the daughter cells. Yeah. And so cell membrane is the wall of a cell, and it separates the cell. It contains everything in from the cold dark world outside of the cell. And in an animal cell shown here, the cell only has a cell membrane. However, in a plant cell, the cell also has a cell wall, like a rigid wall outside of the cell membrane. And due to this, plant cells are squarish, rectangularish, while animal cells typical animal cell have more of a flexible form. And so now we move on to stem cell differentiation and differentiated cells. So what happens when we produce cells from cell division? Usually these cells are stem cells, and stem cells are cells that can do pretty much anything in a limited capability unless it's told to do another thing. And this process of telling them to do something specific thing is called differentiation. So as you can see, a stem cell can be differentiated. Okay, they were like just floating around, doing nothing, doing the basic jobs, like coming here to help and stuff. But they got this information, we're gonna turn into specialized cells. We have neurons, we have muscle cells, we have red blood cells, we have immune system cells. So stem cells have this capability to fill in positions, and this is differentiation basically. And also stem cells also have this pathway to become more stem cells. And so in the body, sometimes stem cells, some stem cells are like, we're going to differentiate into differentiated cells doing a specific function in the body, or we're just going to remain as a stem cell and produce more stem cells. And specialized cells or differentiated cells, they have a specific purpose in the body, such as neurons for transmitting neural signals, and we have like blood cells for transporting oxygen around our blood vessels. We have muscle cells for contracting movements. And so stem cells form differentiated cells, but in the case of an emergency, stem cells quickly fill the role quickly differentiates and go into the role of a differentiated cells. And this we can see in a medical world. There are a lot of potential uses of stem cells, including like blindness, which they hope that by experimenting with stem cells, they can cure blindness by repairing the differentiated cells in the eye. And that's all for this video. Thank you.